Hello and welcome to the new week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Before we jump into it, let me just mention briefly that the tarot lottery, is going to be held next week. So if you'd like to join, now you still have time. Follow the link in the description. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can also do that by visiting my website. And in the meantime, if you're interested in my videos, subscribe, leave a comment, like this video. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. If you have any ideas on how I can make this better. So, we're going to start with the Gipsy cards. This is going to set the tone. This is going to express the central theme of the upcoming week. So let's see what we're dealing with. And we have woman in love, but the translation, the English translation, is kind of interesting. It's sweetheart, but in Hungarian it's szerelmesnő, which means woman in love. And here it also says in German and in French, and I believe in Italian and maybe also in Russian. So I'm going to try and pronounce these words as well. Geliebte, vieni me, ljubavnika, amante. So, woman in love. Is this woman you? Or is this someone you know? Or is this more of a metaphor? The first question that comes to your mind is, I'm sure, is what is the difference between a woman in love and a man in love? Is there a difference? So let's find out what this card is trying to say to us. I'm going to shuffle the cards and allow for the tarot to elaborate on the message a little bit. So we've just recently had Valentine's Day. I don't know if you guys celebrate it. In my country, it's not that big of a deal. We don't really care about it that much. But it's the day of lovers, I guess. Does it hold any personal significance to you this day? Do you like it? Let me know in the comments. So anyway, this is the kind of the season of falling in love, or celebrating this feeling of being in love. And so looks like the Gipsy card is kind of reflecting on that energy. Okay. So what do we have here? Let's see. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles. I actually would like to draw another card to tell us about man in love. I really am interested to see that, because I'm sure that there are couple men as well watching this video, although if I can believe the data from the analytics, it's mostly women who watch these videos, but I truly appreciate the men who show up as well. So let's see. Women and men in love. Oh. And here we have the Five of Pentacles. This is an interesting dynamic because what's showing up here is that both of these cards are in the same suit, in the Pentacle suit, which relates to material aspects of life. So traditionally, you wouldn't equate or you wouldn't connect the earth element with the experience of being in love. You would think that that's more ethereal, more of an emotion-based feeling or thing, phenomenon. But here we are with the earth element. Here we are with the Queen of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles expressing something about romantic love. And most importantly, this is telling the story of the interaction between men and women in love. Not in general, I wouldn't say, but this is showing something, a slice of life to us that pertains to this week that we are just about to start. So, the Queen of Pentacles is the queen of abundance. There's prosperity and growth and a wealth of resources that is at her disposal. And although, as I've expressed in the beginning of this video, Pentacles relate to the earthy realities of life, there's also a slightly spiritual flavor to the energy of the Queen of Pentacles, because it's the generosity, it's the ability and willingness to give almost on a maternal level that truly makes the Queen of Pentacles who she is. She experiences a type of flow, a type of harmony within herself and with her surroundings when she can provide for those around her. So she's the one who has the goods in some sense. And men seem to be in a state of need, or there's some kind of scarcity mentality that emerges in connection with the idea of love and the energy of finding love or being in love. Five of Pentacles is about not having access to resources and being vulnerable, being dependent as a result of that. So, looking at the Five of Pentacles card, I get this alarming sense and this deep compassion towards those men who experience this, whose experience in life and in dating is making them bitter, disappointed, making them feel like they are outcasts, or like they have not much of a chance of having their needs met. It's a very sad thing, and I think on a societal level, this is something that we need to address or work with somehow. I hear this from many young men, that they find it an increasingly frustrating challenge to make a connection with another human being. And that also, by the way, I think is influencing their ability to make friends with each other as well. So there's a sense of isolation there. So women in love experience a sense of abundance and the rush of being able to multiply or amplify their own energy by way of giving more of themselves. So this is a very positive and meaningful experience. So I wonder, how do we, men and women, how do we navigate this week when you see men being desperate and women apparently having a great time? Let me know if this resonates with you, by the way. If you find this to be applicable to your situation. So what is there to do to make things better? The Hierophant. That's interesting. Certainly. The Hierophant is directing your attention to conventions and traditions. And although I'm really not a big fan of traditional male and female roles, I'm simply not interested in any of that. I could see how some people, or maybe even the majority of people, could benefit from some kind of rule book, some kind of consensual, preconceived structure, a societal structure of sorts that makes it easier for men and women to find each other, or partners to find each other, to make it less about gender. So the Hierophant represents tradition. Hierophant represents the knowledge of generations that have come before us. And what I think the tarot is trying to get across here is that since we have distanced ourselves from tradition, it is becoming increasingly more and more difficult to find ways to express interest and to appropriately address one another and to make connections with one another. Many of my friends use online dating platforms, and their experiences is harrowing. It's absolutely soul crushing. Let me know if you have tried anything like that. I myself have always felt compelled to stay as far away from those as possible. There's just something really soulless and depressing about those things. But that's just a symptom of how difficult it is for us to find an acceptable and a comfortable way for us to reach out to one another. So the Hierophant is incentivizing us to try and rely on some kinds of pre-existing infrastructures that would make communication between potential partners or potential love interests easier. And to take some of the guessing work out of situations, to make things a little more clear, a little more reliable. It's quite possible that not everything that we have forgotten and buried in the past is completely devoid of value. We could potentially utilize some social customs or some traditions or rituals from the past that would make it easier for us to connect with one another, to make socializing and finding a mate a little bit easier. So, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I wish you a really great week. See you next week.